Trust is a really difficult thing to understand, and my trust rested with my dad, who was managing that side of my life, only to find out 8 years later that the trust I thought I had was not being had. So I unfortunately lost quite a bit of money because the one person I thought I could trust.
Hi everyone, welcome back to the channel. I know I've been AWOL, but I'm here. I'll address that issue on the next video. But in today's video, I just want us to talk about our Springbok legend, Brian Habbana. The guy was really, really good. I don't think there's a person who can come out and say, I didn't like Brian Habbana. We all loved Brian Habbana. I mean, we still love him even now. He was really good. So Brian Habbana went to this podcast. I think it's called Sports of the Business, something like that. I'm going to link that video on my description. So this guy opened up about his financial issues with his father, how his father betrayed him because all the money that he was making via sponsorships, he would give his father to handle that financial part. But at the end, he found out that his father was just using that money for his personal gains, even though he spoke about that he went to private schools and all of that. Because remember, during apartheid, black people were not allowed to go to private schools. Brian Habana and the likes of Trevor Noah were the first group to go to private schools after apartheid. There was democracy and people were given opportunities, especially black people. So now coloreds, Indians, African people were given equal opportunities just like white people because apartheid system was abolished. It is a great thing that his father had the money to take his child to the private schools, and we applaud him for that. But what he did to Brian Habana was just so wrong. I mean, it was wrong because Brian Habana started playing at a very young age. He then eventually joined the Springboks and he was really, really great. So he trusted his father to handle his finances because he knew nothing about finances. And unfortunately, we are not taught on how to handle the money. Nobody's going to teach you how to handle money, and I doubt that we'll have teachers if the schooling system allowed us to learn more about the money. The point that I'm trying to say, we're not taught about financial literacy at schools. He knew nothing about financial literacy, so hence he trusted his father, and his father did him dirty. I think we can learn a lot from Brian Habana. I thought that SA Rugby are taking care of their players since most of the players there are whites or Afrikaners. Let's not lie. We've seen changes of which is good, especially in the rugby. We've seen colors, we've seen African people, the likes of Magazole Mapipi, Siago Lisi, the captain. I mean, they're really, really respecting diversity, of which I can't say so about cricket. I still think that we still need to change, but that's a story for another day. I just want to talk about financial literacy, what we can learn from Brian Habana's situation. And I thought that SA Rugby are taking care of their players. I mean, I've never had a rugby player being poor after retiring. I've never had those sad stories. There was a guy who passed away last year. I'll just put his name here. May his soul rest in peace. It was reported that he had issues with drugs, but the guy was still financially okay. So what I'm trying to say is that I thought that SA Rugby has a system on how to teach their players in terms of handling their money, in terms of investing and all of that stuff. What should they invest in? Should they save? Are they preparing their rugby players after retiring? So I was kind of disappointed because I know in the football we've seen so many players who are broke after retiring because currently I don't think there's a system in the football that is teaching the players on how to handle their money, except Piwa Shabalala. That guy is great with money and he's still fine even now. I'm talking about the Kaizer Chiefs player. I've never heard of him saying, I need money, blah, blah, blah. He's living a soft life. he's okay. The reason why I'm making this video is just that I really wish this video can reach the athletes, whether you are a soccer player, you're a cricket player, you're a rugby player, or whatsoever, but you are playing because your career is very short. You can get injured, and the doctors can tell you that, you know what, you can no longer play. Talking about early retirement, we've seen that. And what happens to you after that? Because you're no longer going to get that huge lump sum of money. I mean, rugby players are well off. They're earning serious money. Their coach, Rasias Rasmus, is earning between 15 to 18 million rand per annum. When Sia Golisi joined the Racing 92 in France, it was reported that he's earning about 18 to 19 million rand. I don't know now because he's back to the Sharks. I just want young players to learn more about money. Not only that, even Black South Africans are not taught about financial literacy. I think it's very important for us to read books that are talking about financial literacy. I'm talking about The Rich Dad Poor Dad. I know some other people are bashing that book, but that book is very good. It will teach you about investing in property, like the rules of money. Another book that I want people to read, The Richest Man in the Babylon. That book is also good. Whether you are working, whether you're an athlete, I think you should read those books. And The Capitalist Nigger. I've made a summary of that book. Please go and check it out. People are enjoying that video. I was just talking about the lessons learned on that book. Such a great book, especially if you are black and you know nothing about money. Yeah, it's very important to know about financial literacy, how to manage your money. You'll understand the rules of the money. Once you understand and know the rules of the money, you'll never go broke. Even if you are broke, but you'll always find a way to have money. The first one I want us to look at is spend way less than you earn. We're talking about athletes. I just want them to understand that it's very important to spend way less than you earn. I know sometimes you are seeing this money, you're seeing millions, and you think, you know what, I've arrived, I can spend, I can buy expensive cars, I can buy your Rolex watches. Those are just liabilities, okay? I feel like this players should capitalize on sponsorships. Like for an example, I know that Mercedes-Benz is currently sponsoring rugby players. Instead of buying your own car, why can't you use that sponsorship car? I know you guys sign contracts maybe for about like 5 years or whatsoever, but currently the Mercedes-Benz in South Africa is sponsoring the Springbok Stars, because sponsorships are like for free, but you're also given money because you know that your career is very short. Why can't you just use the resources that you are given for free? Rule number two is to pay yourself first. Before you can even spend your money on personal things, just learn to save, learn to invest. Invest your money. You know, you are making a lot of money, you are making millions. How's about you build some flats for rentals that is going to help you? You know that you are settled for life. People are paying. Have a business that is going to make you money instead of saying, you know, you are lazy. You know, when it's that time when you are taking a break, I know you work very hard, but around December you are taking a break. That Bafana is not on break because they'll be playing for AFCON. They're busy. They will be busy there. But when you get a break, or maybe you're injured at that point, also about you learn about investing. You can buy stocks. You can buy government bonds. I mean that's a very safe way to invest. That's where you can start. Now there's also tax-free savings account where you can just put money there. You know, maybe you've got kids, you want to take them to private schools, you're a star. Obviously, you'll take your kids to private schools. Let's say maybe a million is nothing. How's about you put like 5 million aside for your kids, or take away 5 million rand or 10 million rand? You know that you are settled in terms of paying school fees. Make money work for you. You can buy stocks, maybe you can have rental properties. Rule number four, you need to avoid bad debt. It's very important to buy assets. An asset is anything that is going to make you money whether you're deciding to open a business, open a restaurant, or you are buying a franchise, you are going to make money, or whether you decide to invest your money. I mean, people are always thinking that investing is very complicated. They don't understand. Once you talk about investing, people lose interest. I know some other people at this point, they have left this video instead of listening the whole video, because now you're talking about investing. It sounds so boring, yet the subject is very important. You can start small, but I'm going to make an example with Capitec Bank. When Capitec Bank was starting, I think their stocks were about 3 rand or less than that. The price per share was about 2000 rand. Last time when I checked, I don't know now. I think it was last year or early this year. It was about 2000 rand. So imagine if you bought stocks at that time, you bought shares at that time for Capitec Bank, you'll be a multi millionaire. So don't be fooled. Learn to invest. Diversify when you're investing. Don't invest in one company. Put your money on index fund. It's very safe. Instead of going around buying a Porsche, buying those expensive cars, buying Rolex watches, at the end of the day, you don't need those things. They say wealth is very silent. Wealthy people don't like to show off. It's only those people who think that they are rich, who don't understand how the money works, will be wearing your Gucci, flaunting their Rolex watches, buying your Porsche. Remember that guy who stole from Tembisa Hospital, all in the name of genders? What's his name? Angani Maumela. He bought a very expensive car. There's this other car that they said only very few people have that car. I think about 56 people, and he's one of them. I stand to be corrected there. Why would you spend your money like that? Why would you be so careless? Spending your money on liabilities just because you want to be seen. Wealthy people don't do that. Another thing is to build emergency fund. It's very important to build an emergency fund. Should you leave the soccer, or should you leave rugby? What will happen to you? Maybe you are injured. The doctors have told you that you need to take an early retirement. Can you be financially well for at least 5 years? You can pay your debts. Can you have money for petrol? Can you have money to take your kids to a private school? That can you go on vacation? Can you still do it without you having to worry about your finances? So I think it's very important. I used to say black people know nothing about money, but it's not only black people. I think even white people, it's very important to know about financial literacy. Educate yourself. You are not losing, you are learning. Another rule is to track your money. This is where we talk about budgeting. How much are you spending? Are you into impulsive buying? Are you saving your money? Are you investing? Another rule that you should apply is to invest early and be consistent. Once you get paid, you invest, you save. If you've got a business, hire right people who are qualified. Hire an accountant that is going to help you. If you've got a business, they'll sort out your tax issues, they'll sort out um, your business finances. You might say, no, I don't need a financial advisor. No, you do need it. I remember Brian Habbana, he said in that podcast, his friend told him about somebody who was a financial advisor. At first, he didn't want to go there, but he was going to get free services, so he decided to go there. And when he spoke to that guy, he said, show me financial statements, show me everything. He checked his bank account, then he realized that if you still want to live this lavish life, still want to take your kids to a private school, in 3 years, you will have absolutely nothing. Can you imagine that? You are no longer working. You have retired, and the accountant or the financial advisor is telling you that no, you'll only live this lavish life for about 3 years, then that's it. You're going to be poor. So I really hope the athletes can go and check that podcast. I'm just going to link it on this channel. And yeah, I am back on this channel. I know I've been AWOL. I had a lot to do this year. I'll keep on making videos. So yeah, bye. See you on the next episode. If you have learned something on this video, please like it, share, and subscribe. Bye.